the big story in the UK right now is all the allegations, the big scandal with the BBC presenter Hugh Edwards. Overall, there's been five set of claims when it was with Hugh Edwards when it comes to improper conduct and inappropriate behaviour. There is another BBC had revealed about claims that there'd been suggestive messages sent to BBC employees. So maybe we'll find out a bit more about that very soon. The first one we probably all heard about. When it was to do with the person that got hooked on crack cocaine. The overall had paid he had allegedly paid £35,000 to over 3 years for sexually explicit photos, and other allegations there resorts to an individual in their early 20s that he was pressuring them to meet up. They found each other on a dating app. But this little video that I wanted to do in relation to Hugh Edwards, though, is a clip I came across on Twitter, and it was a clip from the TV writer, TV presenter, producer, satirist Charlie Brooker. I'm not particularly all that keen. I'm a big fan of Charlie Brooker, but he had a TV review program show back in the noughties, and it was called Screenwipe, and this was an interesting clip that I came across from 2006, and this was a comment, and Hugh Edwards' name was mentioned in this, and so Charlie Brooker he says, quote, "Yes, even though we've become so desensitized to TV's relentless nudge wink sexual imagery, we wouldn't be shocked that Hugh Edwards would get his bum out on the house." And then but sorry, I said house. What am I talking here? The Big Brother house, but on the U's, get his bum out on the U's. But this this clip though, just made me think right away, because we've all probably seen that picture, and I'm not gonna share that photograph on here on YouTube, but that's probably why I had it in my head about on the house, because of that photo of him was when he draws down, and I don't really want to get into it. I don't want to get too graphic with this, but the comment though, and the name dropping. I mean, these things are very. It's very, I don't know, is it maybe a bit of that kind of like Family Guy thing, like when they make jokes, and there was like a few years before Bruce Jenner became Caitlyn Jenner, they made a joke about, some joke about how, Bruce Jenner's really a woman, and like other jokes have been made before in sitcoms about someone that was like a girl, maybe like a tomboyish girl, and they made a joke saying, "Oh, that's Bruce Jenner." But the thing about this is, maybe this is my theory, is that maybe this name dropping Hugh Edwards was done obviously for a reason. It was maybe a little ha in joke with people in the television industry. So it begs the question, was, when it comes to Hugh Edwards, let's say, the true nature, his true character, was this common knowledge in the television industry with Hugh Edwards? Because you have stuff out there coming out now about that, they were investigating Hugh Edwards for inappropriate behavior even before with the first allegation, with the family of the kid, they went to they went to BBC, and then later on, went to the police. So I just wonder, is this been going on for a long time? And, it wouldn't surprise me, I wouldn't surprise me that somebody, all of a sudden somebody that in late 50s, all of a sudden is doing these things, a married man, but then, he's on a bloody dating app. And, he's, on whatever, a video call, getting his drawers down. I don't want to get any more about that, but would all of a sudden he have started doing these dodgy things in his late 50s, or has this been something that's going on for a little bit longer? You know, this could go way back. You know, this could go back. It might even go back as far as the 90s at some point. There might be even stories there about Hugh Edwards doing with improper conduct in the 1990s. But there's stuff there, you know, when it comes to Hugh Edwards with, you know, harassing staff, you know, BBC staff. But I just wonder, though, maybe it was well known that about what Hugh Edwards, though, and what he was really like, and this idea of him, you know, like, you know, the perception that people had of Hugh Edwards was this kind of probably nice enough, normal, middle of the road kind of, you know, family man, and but there obviously was a lot more to him than met the eye. And I should have probably known anybody that's posting selfies, any man, grown man posting selfies in a mask, you should probably have a bit of a clue that there's much more to them. But and then, you know, the bloody he him pronouns as well. I'm not a fan of people who do that. But it was an interesting quote. I'll say it again. So yes, Charlie Brooker said yes, even though we've become so desensitized to TV's relentless nudge wink sexual imagery. That certainly applies to today, obviously, when you see shit with Sam Smith, I must say. And he said, we wouldn't be that shocked that Hugh Edwards would get his bum out on the U's. That's what he said. So, I mean, what do you think, guys? Do you guys think that Charlie Brooker predicted... That's what I'm going to have for the title. Did he predict this scandal? Has he predicted this? Did he predict this shit back in 2006? You know, I even said, you know, kind of facetiously said, you know, I called it predictive programming. You know, you know, we've heard all the stuff before, predictive programming, you know, with the Simpsons and with what it appeared like to be the 9/11 in the tower, the Twin Towers, you know. These things happen, you know. I'm not this big tinfoil hat wearing nut. It's just when you see one thing after another, it's not a case of it being in your head. You know, there's got to be something to it. And I think with that joke that Charlie Brooker made, you know, he used something. In the circles he rolled in, and he was married to the woman, Connie Hugh, that he still is, right? Connie Hugh, who worked for the BBC, and she was presenter on Blue Peter. She was still doing Blue Peter at the time. She was, I think, she's like one of one of the longest serving presenters. So maybe she had some stories. Maybe she knew or heard stuff about what Hugh Edwards, you know, was really like. So, yeah. But, yeah, I just thought that was a little video that I'd upload. I thought I'd upload on that on Charlie Brooker. But I did say that I did think that more stuff was going to come out with this, with Hugh Edwards. Maybe we'll see a couple more things come out. Maybe even more allegations, like backdated stuff. But it would be interesting to see, though, when it comes to the stuff, like if there's specific details there when it comes to if there was harassment that went on there with other colleagues that work for the BBC. But those are all that's my thoughts on all that, though, guys. Thanks. See ya.